YouTube, Lawnboys Post 1975, and welcome to my Christmas message for 2019. I say this every year, I'm pretty sure everyone does, but it's Christmas again. It comes around so quickly, and when you do a year-end event like I do, which is your Christmas message, then it really does feel like, you know, the one you made last year was literally yesterday, and this must be my 6th or so Christmas message, and it really has become an important tradition on this channel to have a Christmas video, to share some memories with you about whatever it may be. And even before I had a Christmas message, I always did a Christmas video. There was that year where I dissect Charlie Brown's Christmas special. You know, there was the one when I talk about the true meaning of Christmas being not necessarily what you receive, but the thought behind what you receive. But there has been a Christmas video in some form or another every year on my channel, and that's because if you watch this video, you know, hey, I was going to say how, but I shouldn't say that at Christmas, damn it, I just did. Hey, some people only actually watch my Christmas message, but I think it's safe to say I am a massive fan of Christmas. I've never grown out of love with Christmas. It's always been special to me. I've always made the best of it. I've always found a way to enjoy it. And as I've explained in previous videos, you have to approach it. You know, is it going to feel the same as you did when you were a kid? You have to make an effort and you have to approach it. So I want to talk about a Christmas memory, or 3-4 years of Christmases that I spent away from home. And when I spent away from home, I don't mean just, you know, moved out and down the road or moved out on the other side of the country. I mean moved out on the other side of the globe. And it was a big deal, because when you love Christmas as much as me, then when you can't spend it with your family, it becomes, particularly in the first year, which I want to talk about, it becomes almost a little bit anxious about, well, what am I going to do at Christmas? How, you know, should I spend Christmas? How will I enjoy Christmas? It's Christmas. And this particular year, the first time I was away from home, the true meaning of Christmas, you know, friendship or offers from other people that you didn't particularly know very well, but knew that it was Christmas, happened. Someone extended their hand, extended the hand of friendship, extended the hands of their family, and it was absolutely fantastic. And it made it Christmas because in 2003, I moved away from United Kingdom for my job, and I moved to Montreal in Canada for 4 years, and I loved it. Absolutely amazing. And there are some amazing things about you love, about you loving, or you love, I'll learn to talk in a minute, I haven't even been on the Christmas booze, about going overseas. It's new culture, you know, new locations, new people, new languages, you know, everything about it is something to be, it is exciting and new, you know, somewhere new to live, you know, new cars, new public transport, every individual part and parcel of life is completely and utterly different. And it's all fantastic, and you really look forward to it, and you look forward to the differences, and you look forward to the changes. But I think it's safe to say at certain times of the year, such as your birthday, but more so Christmas, you may not necessarily look forward to it, because whom do you celebrate Christmas with? I don't have any friends or family in Canada. All my friends or family live in America. And, you know, first year as a job, there was no way I would get the time off or be able to afford to fly to Boston. I had friends in Toronto, but they'd gone back to England because, well, one of them was English, gone back to England for that Christmas. And so it's weird because the year started off brilliantly. I got there in March, I lived through the summer, then it got to the start of winter, and then, you know, and it felt like proper winter. The one thing I will say about Montreal Christmas, it's absolutely fantastic. Well, that part of, you know, the neck of the woods is snow. Guaranteed snow at Christmas, which may not seem like a big deal to people when they live through it year in and year out in that neck of the woods, but to me, always having snow at Christmas would be amazing, but more often than not, it's a pipe dream. I think last time it happened, but it didn't really count because it wasn't on, because in this country, to my viewers outside of this country, you can put money on a bet that if it snows on Christmas Day, you win a lot of money, but it has to be, a layer of snow has to land on the roof of the weather centre in London for it to count. So the last time I remember snowing in this country was around about 91, 92, and, you know, my original Mini at the time, it covered the roof of my Mini, so I thought that counted, and there was, you know, an inch or so on the floor maybe, but it was nice because it made it, you know, white and snowy. Before that, I remember, and I think I talked about this, mentioned this memory last year, when I got my motorbike trike as a kid and went into the front garden to try and pedal it on the snow and couldn't burst into tears because I was ickle. But I do remember that vividly, there was snow. Apart from that, cannot remember snow. And like I said, so when I got to Montreal, the snow, you know, the point of this part of the tale is it started to feel really, really, really Christmassy, which was great, but then kind of heightened the anxiety I had to, what am I going to do for Christmas? I really don't want to spend it alone in my apartment. And yeah, so, because all the other expats from my office who were from, you know, England and stuff like that, the first year they went back to England. So I literally was completely and utterly alone. And I mean, I was a big boy. I wouldn't have like cried or anything, but it's important for me to have that real Christmas feeling and that Christmas moment in a meal and company is what I'm trying to say. But anyway, back to the snow. So always snowing there was amazing, amazing deal. Living downtown and only 5 blocks away from work, which is either a gift or a penance, means you can always get to work because you can walk in the underground city. That's fine. But, so snow wasn't the handicap, it was in this country where it takes just that much snow and the entire country shuts down. So, yeah, it felt really Christmassy. I loved it. I loved the fact that you had, you know, feet and feet of snow. The snow plows would come along, plough the streets, you know, set their sirens off, tell you to come and move your car, or they just tow it and stuff like that. But most of all, having snow in December felt really, really, really Christmassy, particularly in the evening and coming home from work and sitting in the pub and it's snowing, you know, and watching Christmas movies on the TV. But again, it's around about this point where, you know, I was like, well, what am I going to do for Christmas? I mean, I can buy all the trimmings and stuff like that, but it really doesn't feel like I should, you know, worth it cooking a full Christmas dinner for me. And I certainly don't want, you know, a TV dinner for Christmas, and I've got basic cable. What Christmas TV is going to be on? And so I just rent movie. I don't know. I just, for the first time in years, I was anxious, and you know what a big deal Christmas is to me. But for the first time in years, I guess I just wasn't feeling Christmas because I had nowhere to spend it. I mean, I had friends, but the majority of my friends, because that first year transition from moving and living completely nothing different culture, society, country, particularly where they speak a different language, and my French, which was basically GCSE French from high school. My French wasn't, you know, kicking back into proper levels like it did after 2 or so years there. So, you know, it was going to be an interesting time. And then the closer we got to Christmas, the more people started flying back to the UK, and it became apparent to one person who was really, really, and we since after this became really, really, really good friends. And I lived downtown, so this is what a big deal it was. He lived on the South Shore, which is off the island. If you aren't from outside of, or you aren't from North America, look it up. It's kind of well, not a big deal, but it is if it's snowing heavily and stuff like that. But he was the only person in the office who clocked that Dave's not going home. You know, John's gone, Jeff's gone, you know, Mark, Mike, they've all gone. You know, half them were going back to Bristol, not London as well. And it's like, what's he doing? And so he came up to me, and I think this was what like literally kicked off our friendship. And it was 2 days before the office shut down. And I had a decent sort of week off for Christmas this year, which was another thing that made it really kind of not depressing, but just underwhelming. And, you know, and obviously I was going to get no presents. And it's not about getting presents, but there's no denying getting presents, whether it's something small and tiny, you know, and ultimately valueless. But it's not about that. It's just, it's nice to get presents at Christmas. It makes it feel like Christmas. And I was just resigned to spending it in my apartment. Maybe I buy myself something nice and wrap it up and put it under the Zeller store's crap little mini tree I had. So yeah, he came up, and it was just, and you didn't want to say anything. You were honest, but I didn't expect what he was going to say. So we're like, I don't know, a couple of days from the office closing. So what were we on, the 22nd of December, because it was a finance kind of business. I mean, I was in the IT department, but finance, and it dealt with stocks and shares and stuff like that. Certain things shut down, you know, globally at Christmas, which is kind of cool and kind of helped. But yeah, he just went, so everyone has gone back to like England, gone back to Bristol, gone back to London. What are you doing? I said, spending it here. And he goes, don't you have mates? Because I think I mentioned it when I first got there in March, because obviously we're towards the end of my first year there. Don't you have mates in Toronto? And yeah, one of them's English, he'd be emigrated here. They've gone back to England. And he goes, anyone else? You know, can you spend it? I said, all my other relatives in America, I can't afford that. I'll be all right, Hugo, I'll be all right. I just, you know, spend it in my apartment. Yeah, you know, have a simple Christmas dinner, something like that. Maybe go to the pub in the evening. You know, that's a British thing. He goes, really? He went, yeah. And he goes, I don't know if the pubs here are open in the evening, at least not on the South Shore. And I went, oh, right, so I guess I'll spend it at home. It's all right, I'm a big boy, you know, not really much else I could do. He goes, I'll tell you what, because he lived on the South Shore and his mum lived even further, mum and father lived even further away from him on the South Shore. He goes, I'll make a phone call. And I couldn't believe this, it blew me away. And he came back the next day, so like one day away or such from the office closing, and you know, and then obviously it's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And he said, right, you're coming to spend Christmas with my family. And I was like, what, I can't do that. He goes, no, look, Christmas is a big deal. And I do remember you saying to a couple of people when they go back to, you know, England and Bristol and London, stuff like that, oh, I have fun, I love Christmas, I absolutely love it. So Christmas is a big deal. Come to my house, I'll pick you up. Round about lunchtime, I'll pick you up from here outside the office building. Yeah, you come over to South Shore. We'll stop at my house, pick up some presents and my girlfriend, and then we drive over to my parents' house. I went, that's awesome. You know, what shall I bring? He goes, just buy a couple of bottles of wine and stuff like that. You can't buy presents. And I go, sure, I can buy presents for, you know, how many people are going to be there? And he goes, it's my extended family. There's going to be about 25 people there. It was intimidating, but also once, you know, a couple of beers in, a couple of glasses of wine and you were there, it was really like festive and made it an amazing Christmas event. I've never been to a Christmas family shindig with that many people. He goes, downside is pretty much myself and my sister are the only people who speak English there. And your French is pretty ropey, because like I said, it got a lot better, but it was pretty ropey at that point. And I went, oh, dude, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. He goes, oh, come on, it's Christmas. And it was one of those moments, and I often thought about this, which is why, you know, since then I want to talk about it now. That's the true meaning of Christmas. That's spotting a moment like that, where you realise that someone might have to spend it on their own, and even if you don't fully know them, obviously, you know, they're not, you know, a knife murderer or an axe murderer or Jason Voorhees or something like that and going to give you a Black Christmas or whatever it is, but you don't really know them. You know, you don't know their foibles and stuff like that. I mean, you know them from a purely work perspective, and I think the only time, apart from a few conversations possibly about movies, that we really talked about anything was just swapping code on the data we had to feed into systems because of bank account numbers and stuff, which is really boring, you don't need to know anything about. But yeah, it was just, I was really genuinely touched. And from that point on, I almost sound like that Christmas special, Perfect Strangers. It felt Christmassy. I had somewhere to go at Christmas. I had somewhere to be at Christmas. I had a meal. I had a whole bunch of people there. Sure, a little bit intimidated that I didn't know anyone, but it's Christmas. Isn't that the point of Christmas? You know, jump headfirst into these moments. So I bought Hugo a bunch of DVDs, and it's funny because I got up, it was Christmas morning, I went to bed, we went to the pub Christmas Eve, me and one other person from my office. They weren't an expat, it was just someone from the office who was French Canadian. I talked to him, dude, it's Christmas Eve, come on, no, there's no one else around, and obviously the pubs are empty in Montreal. You know, at that time of year, because they rely purely on locals, there's no tourism trade. So come on, it's Christmas Eve, we have to go for a pint. So I talked him into it. So we went for a couple of pints. I convinced the people in my local, the London pub, yeah, I know, a cliche. It was owned by Europeans who love football, so that's what became ultimately my pub home. Into playing Christmas carols on the radio, and there's only about 5 of us in there, and they stayed open till about 1 o'clock just for us. And that was a tradition from this side of the pond, and it felt really Christmassy. And I went to bed that night really a little bit pensive, but really looking forward to it and excited about the next day, because honestly I was just, resigned to there being no Christmas that year. And all of a sudden 2 days ago I discovered, well, someone very kindly, the Christmas spirit, as I said, offered me to come, and that's a huge deal. 20 people, your local, your immediate relatives. Yeah, there's this English bloke at work whom none of you have met, and I've never mentioned before now, with a completely different sense of humour of yours, and his French is rubbish. He's coming over for Christmas dinner. He's coming over, but apparently they were just like, come on over, because he's got nowhere else to spend it, and apparently just like, come on over, it's Christmas, only in French. See what I did there? So yeah, I was really excited. I a little bit pensive, as I said, but I got up and it was like, yes, it's Christmas morning, I'm excited. Didn't care that I wasn't getting any presents. It was just, I got somewhere to be for Christmas. And because it came out of nowhere, it really was it was brilliant. It was a really fantastic moment. It felt like a Christmas moment. I'm not going to say Christmas miracle because I wouldn't go as far as to say it was that strong, but it felt like a fantastic Christmas moment. Only I was starving. So, and this was an odd thing because of obviously the different cultures and stuff like that. Pubs may not have been open at this time in the evenings, but all the local cafes and stuff like that, Tim Hortons and Van Huit, they were open. And so I remember thinking, this is a new experience. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. It's 11:30, and I'm in Tim Hortons having a bowl of soup and a bread roll because I'm absolutely starving. I'm in a coffee shop on Christmas Day. That wouldn't happen in the United Kingdom. There would not be any of them open, and that was even kind of cool itself. So then and it was pissing down with snow. So then I walked to work, and because it was so cold, it was like minus 28. It wasn't a massively freezing winter, but it was minus 28, like with wind chill and stuff like that. Had all my winter shit on. Had a bag, bottles of wine, some DVDs for Hugo, kind of a cultural exchange, some English comedies I thought I knew he hadn't seen and he had to watch. And yeah, so it was freezing, and so because I still had my work card on me because it lived in my wallet, I swiped the door and stood in the glass like porch area because I figured I'd see when Hugo pulled up in his car. He had this big fat old Scots station wagon, National Lampoon's kind of cool, and yeah, and then I set the security alarm off. So the security guard came down and it, like, who are you? What the hell are you doing here? And I was like, no, here's my computer share card. Here's my computer share card. I work here. See, picture matches face and stuff. I just waited in here for my ride because it's freezing outside, and I'm going to the South Shore for the first time for Christmas because it's my first Christmas away from home. And he was completely cool. He was like, first Christmas away from home. Yeah, with a French family. Oh, you'll have a blast. You'll have a blast. Traditions and stuff like that. Meaning games. We don't play games. Well, maybe other people do, but in England, we don't play games. Anyway, Hugo picked me up. He goes, here's a list of do's and don'ts. Just be super, 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 super polite. Even if your French is crap, just please, thank you, and c'est bon. Just say it's good to everything. And so, yeah, we went there. We got there, it was about 1:45 after he picked up his girlfriend and presents, stuff like that. We went in, and obviously it being France, Montreal, it's not two kisses, it's kiss, kiss, kiss. And so it was basically a nice, massive Christmas assault of greeting all these people. Kiss, 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 kiss. You've got a cold, shies, and kiss, kiss, kiss. But I honestly, you could just feel it in the air. I didn't know these people. They all tried their best, some in very bad broken English, some with Hugo listening and his girlfriend and his sister translating the conversation with me. I felt like a war documentary on BBC, and back and forth, and what do you think about, Montreal, and what's it like? And it was brilliant. And they just plied me with booze. I mean, I wasn't driving. And we played party games. We had a massive traditional Christmas dinner, which was different because they served their turkey with rice, and there was pumpkin pie, and and it was that many people around a table as well. But it was, and everyone was asking the English bloke a question. It was funny because, like I said, you thought it'd be intimidating, but it was like cultural exchanges and stuff like that, and I didn't understand half of what was being said and stuff like that. And when Hugo wasn't there, kind of a little bit of awkwardness and like that. And I was in someone else's present exchange where Hugo's mum bought me some socks. His dad gave me some beer because Hugo said to him, he's British, they drink, just give him some beer. And he gave me a couple of DVDs. That was the other thing, kind of not even realising what I was doing, which was, here's some French comedy. There are subtitles, don't worry. And it's when I first saw... bollocks, what was the movie? I can't remember now. It was a French hockey movie, but that's all I can remember. And we did a cultural exchange, and it was just a very, very interesting, day. But it was warm, it was happy, it was festive, most important. The TV did not go on once. That's kind of cool as well. That had never happened to me at that point, and it was brilliant. TV did not go on once. 4, 5 party games, constant trays of wine coming around, constant nibbles. Dessert, although they all looked at me like a weirdo when I said, I'll try some pumpkin pie, but I don't have a sweet tooth whatsoever. Turkey gave me cold cuts and stuff like that to take back to my apartment that I rinsed through on Boxing Day. And it was amazing. And then about 8:30 at night, we drove back to the island. I thanked Hugo so much. I said, mate, really, I thought I was going to have no Christmas this year. You know how much I love Christmas. I was really kind of anxious, and well, I just set to the fact that I was going to spend it by myself in the apartment, and yeah, you really really made it, and it was I don't know if this video is doing it justice, but it was just one of those moments where it really felt like someone extending the Christmas spirit to you. You know, a Christmas, just a wonderful Christmas selfless act. He had no need to do that, you know. I mean, his parents had no need to do that, and a whole group of people who don't even speak English, you know, having this person from the other side of the world sit there with you who doesn't speak French at this point properly. That to me was that just showed that that's what it was about. And come on in, who cares about all these things? We'll make it somehow. It's Christmas, it'll work out, we'll worry about it then. What's the worst could happen? It's Christmas, we're going to have a Christmas, so you may as well be part of it. I cannot express that this was just such a big deal. And from that point onwards, I never went home for Christmas. I went around my girlfriends later on when after it was the New Year, and I got my first Canadian girlfriend. Saying it like that was awkward, and I spent it either with her or her parents, but I had no interest in going home because I knew that Christmas doesn't matter where you are, that if you look for it, if you believe in it and spirit-wise, there will always be a place. That means the next ghost is coming. There will always be a place to spend it, and it's, you know what, yeah, I understand now that it's not necessarily the down you think it's going to be if your family aren't around. But, at Christmas, ultimately, everyone becomes family. I know that sounds a bit silly and gushy, but I honestly believe so. And that Christmas, when Hugo did that, called his parents offered their hand and welcomed me in to spend Christmas with them, was just one of the best Christmases of my life. I'm not taking it away from anything that, over this side of my parents and stuff like that. But it was just that going from nowhere to spend it to having someone to spend it to it being amazing, and then making you want to spend what time you knew that you had left in this country, because I didn't know that, I'd only had 4 years then. I'm spending Christmas here, mainly because of the snow. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. So I guess what I'm trying to say is a couple of things, which is, when you separate from your loved ones and stuff like that, it doesn't mean that Christmas is a write-off. There's always a way to celebrate it. The kindness of others, more often than not, will show this to and intervene as it did here. And also, I just want to know, does anyone else have memories of, that first Christmas away from home? As I said, not away from home, I mean, down the road or whatever. I mean, away from home. I'm over the other side of the globe. This kind of got away from me, but I just wanted to express it. It really truly felt like one of those amazing Christmas moments where it was supposed to happen and Christmas was saved. Because ultimately it was, because it would have been crap by myself in my apartment. Anyway, I've waffled too much. As always, I want to say thank you for listening to my Christmas message. I hope you have an absolutely amazing Christmas. I hope you drink loads. I hope you get everything you want. You eat fantastic food. You meet your friends. You meet your relatives. You reunite with people you haven't seen for years. But ultimately, you have a fantastic Christmas and have an absolutely amazing and wonderful New Year.